Thanks to you all, Mataji, because whatever I told, that was just collected from different devotees at different times. I'm not able to recall His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj had also given one full meaning of GAP. I'm not able to recall. And once Maharaj was going to from Dubai, Maharaj was going to Sharjah. On the way, there was a lot of traffic, and then when Maharaj's car stopped, the car in front of that was Nishan company's car. So suddenly, when Maharaj saw that car, Maharaj loudly started saying, "Gauranga Nityananda." And when the other devotees sitting in the car, when they asked Maharaj what happened, like why suddenly, so Maharaj said, I suddenly remembered because that Nissan logo is like both hands up. So as if a person is standing and the hands are up. So Maharaj connected that company logo with Gaurangas. So
thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much. That's market also okay, but every day cleaning the vessels with Scotch Brite, while seeing the pond itself, we remember that. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
I'm happy, Mataji. I'm happy.
Every day we open the YouTube. Every time we think about that.
Broadcast. Yes,
podcast, Mountain Dew, we go to supermarket, everything we see that Amul butter. It's a constant reminder, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
And I heard in a lecture, Mataji, today morning.
Sorry?
I heard in a lecture today morning that the war between Russia and Ukraine that is going on. So who is responsible for that? And then the answer was India. And when devotees asked how India is responsible, then the Prabhu said, actually it was told by Prabhupada that the responsibility of every Indian is to broadcast the message of Krishna to whole world, because we Indians are not doing it. That's why there are so many problems in the world. so thank you for sharing that. Can we start today's thing?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. We'll start with the Mangala Charan. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana-anjana-shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Ade Vrindavaneshwari Vrijvanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, we welcome you all to today's session of the Bhagavad Gita. It starts from shloka number 11.35 onwards. Let me share the screen again. Yes. So, Is it visible and am I audible properly?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes.
So I seek your sincere prayers and blessings so that we can hear something about our Lord and try to apply that in our life. Today's session is also very, very important. So 11.35. Sanjaya uvacha etat shrutva vachanam kesavasya kritanjali vepamanah kiriti namaskritva bhuya eva krishnam sagadadam bhita pranamaya. So may I request Prabhuji or Mataji to please read the translation in the Bhagavad.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, shall I read? Sorry.
No, continue, Prabhuji, continue.
Sanjaya translation. Hare Krishna. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. Purport. As we have already explained, because of the situation created by the universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna became bewildered in wonder. Thus he began to offer his respectful obeisances to Krishna again and again. And with faltering voice, he began to pray, not as a friend, but as a devotee in wonder. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So I was hearing in a lecture that in this shloka, this word kiriti is very important because once there is a fight between Arjuna and Indra, and Arjuna alone defeats Indra and his entire army. And then Indra gives one crown, like helmet, to Arjuna, which is full of jewels and heavenly stones and all. So from that time onwards, because Arjuna did such a heroic work, so he was known as Kiriti. So, and the word just before that Kiriti is Vepamanaha, which means trembling. So on one side we see that great warrior Arjuna, and then immediately we see trembling, right? So what we are trying to learn here is Sanjay is saying to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from Supreme Personality of Godhead, after the Virat Rupa, right? Lord describes, right, his Virat Rupa. Then the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. So from next shloka onwards, the beautiful prayers of Arjuna to Lord Krishna we are going to discuss. Okay, and we must not doubt our representative Arjuna. Arjuna is like there is a we all know that Srimad Bhagavatam was recited by first Shukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj and other sages, and then by Sutta Goswami to the sages in the Naimisharanya. So Arjuna is our that representative because he himself is a great devotee of the Lord. So we must not have any doubt that Arjuna is asking these questions for himself. He is like an anchor. If an anchor is there and then he asks questions, so it is not necessary that the anchor who is asking the question, he has those problems, but he is asking those questions and getting the answers on behalf of all the innumerable number of the audience that who are going to watch that program. So like that is the position of Arjuna. So, and then not only Arjuna is depicting the questions and how it should be asked, but the mood, okay, with which we should be having these prayers. So we'll start with the next sloka also now. Arjuna Uvacha Sthane Rishikesha Tava Prikritya Jagat Praharasati Anu Rajyate Cha Rakshami Bhitani Desho Dravanti Sarve Namasyanti Cha Siddha Sangaha. Yes. I request
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and Pranam. Arjuna Uvacha Sthane Rishikesh Tava Prakritya Jagat Praharsha Yanu Rajyate Cha Rakshamsi Bhitani Disho Dravanti Sarve Namasyanti Cha Siddha Sangaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Arjuna, after hearing from Krishna about the outcome of the battle of Kurukshetra, became enlightened, and as a great devotee and friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said that everything done by Krishna is quite fit. Arjuna confirmed that Krishna is the maintainer and object of worship for the devotees and the destroyer of the undesirables. His actions are equally good for all. Arjuna understood herein that when the battle of Kurukshetra was being concluded in outer space, there were present many demigods, siddhas, and the intelligentsia of the higher planets, and they were observing the fight because Krishna was present there. When Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it, but others who were demons and atheists could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they fled. Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheists is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whatever he does is good for all. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes. So we see those who are devotees and siddhas and the intelligent person from the higher planets, they were observing the fight because Krishna was present there. Okay. And when Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it. But others who were demons, they simply got scared and then they flew away from there. So it is same Krishna, and it is said like ye yatha mam prapadante. One whatever bhava, he gets a similar reciprocation from the Lord. So we have discussed earlier in initial chapters, I think 7th, 8th, right? Krishna is Rishikesha. So Rishikesha means he is the owner of the master of the senses. So he can do with his same action, thousand and hundreds of thousand people, they can get different reciprocation from the Lord with his same action. And we had discussed about that Shankha, Panchajanya is the Shankha of Krishna. And when he blew this Shankha, then people towards the Kauravas side, they all got scared. There was a fear in their heart immediately. The sound, total sound of the Shankha which Kauravas played, may be outwardly much more louder than what Krishna and from the Pandava side blew, but the sound does not matter. What effect does that sound make in our heart is important. So, and the same sound, the right, same Shankha which Krishna is blowing, it is affecting negatively towards Kaurava side, and Pandavas, that sound itself was the sign of victory. So the point is, the Lord is there for everybody. Okay. Again, today morning only we studied that Krishna is not partial to anybody. All are welcomed. Okay. But those who approaches Krishna, for them Krishna is partial. Okay. I repeat, Krishna is impartial. Why? Because anybody can approach. Krishna is not dictating, this set of people cannot approach me. Maya may be very, very powerful. Only thing which Maya cannot snatch away from us is the desire and the free will to surrender to Krishna. Anytime when we surrender to the Lord, Krishna is readily, there to accept us. We had discussed during that Maggie example, right? 2 minutes. And then one question was asked by Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada said, a person can surrender in a minute, he can get Krishna. So we have to just remember that Lord is there for everybody. Okay. Krishna's treatment of the devotee and the atheist is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whatever he does is good for all. And when we say good for all, even for those demons, okay, or the bad people, for them also it is good that they are running away, because it is a very deep thing. Let us all meditate for a minute. In this world, we may be cursing Maya many times, that why Maya is taking us so much test, why is she putting us into so much problem. But think, if Maya is not there, and if we get the chance to go to Goloka directly without having our heart cleansed, then the amount of offense that we will make after reaching Goloka will be degrading us even much more. For example, if an animal, I don't know how technically this analogy is, I find some similarity between this. So this human form of life is to do bhakti, and the animalistic life is to face the consequences of good or bad karmas that we have done previously. If an animal does any sin, it will not be counted. He will not get any karma, because in animal life we are not creating karma. We are just suffering, good or bad. As a human, if we do good or bad, we are creating our karma. Okay. Now, an animal can make mistakes. He will not be accounted. Similarly, if a person is not realizing himself, there is no difference between him and an animal. Because eating, sleeping, mating, defending are the same thing which animals are doing and which we are also doing. Unless we ask the question, what is the purpose of this life, who we are, why we have been sent here, what is our relationship with the Lord, who is Lord. Unless we ask this question and go into the depth of that, until then there is no difference between us and an animal. So in this life here, if you make mistake, it is still less impacting. But if we make these blunders, Vaikuntha means what? A place where there is no kuntha, there is no envy. We are full of envy. If we make these mistakes after going to Goloka, Vrindavan, okay, I'm just trying to explain hypothetically, because unless we are clean from heart, we will not reach there. But point that I'm trying to highlight is our heart has to be clean first. Otherwise, after going there, if we make mistakes, effect will be much more. So we should be thankful to everybody, including Maya. Okay, and at the same time, the moment we surrender to the Lord, okay, Maya cannot touch us. We are in the territory of Krishna. So we have to take the lesson from this. Okay, next one. Kasmat cha tena namarena mahatman gariyase brahmano api adhikaratare ananta dvesha jagan nivasa tava maksharam sad asat tat param yat. We request next.
Hare Krishna. Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Translation. Oh great one, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectable obeisances unto you? O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the causes of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. By this offering of obeisances, Arjuna indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all-pervading and he is the soul of every soul. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means that he is most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta indicates that there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Supreme Lord. And Devasa means that he is the controller of all demigods and is above them all. He is the shelter of the whole universe. Arjuna also thought that it was fitting that all the perfect living entities and powerful demigods offer their respectful obeisances unto him, because no one is greater than him. Arjuna especially mentions that Krishna is greater than Brahma, because Brahma is created by him. Brahma is born out of the lotus stem grown from the navel abdomen of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, who is Krishna's plenary expansion. Therefore, Brahma and Lord Shiva, who is born of Brahma, and all other demigods must offer their respectful obeisances. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that the Lord is respected by Lord Shiva and Brahma and similar other demigods. The word Aksharam is very significant because this material creation is subjected to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. He is the cause of all causes, and being so, he is superior to all the conditioned souls with this material nature, as well as the material cosmetic manifestation itself. He is therefore the all greater supreme. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Arun.
Right.
So we see that Arjuna is praising the Lord. Okay, and we must not have any doubt on Arjuna at least, because why? A devotee of the Lord is even more merciful than the Lord. Right? We have taken so many examples we have heard. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes for South India Yatra, he was given one assistant to serve him. And then he makes mistakes. And Mahaprabhu, because he was handed over to Mahaprabhu by his devotees, so he could not leave that person in the problem. So Mahaprabhu himself goes, takes that person, completes the yatra, comes back to Puri, and then he says, I cannot keep this person with me. Okay, because he made that big mistake. Okay, now the thing is, I mean, I don't want to go into the complete story, otherwise we'll deviate. The point is, the devotees still ask for the forgiveness. and they still gave him some service. But so idea is what? The devotees of the Lord are even more merciful. Okay, so of course it is all ignited in the heart by the Lord, because He is the Parampita, right? Soul of the soul. Okay, but having, what is our only learning and the only wealth of this life? When we, my Shiksha Guru had told this thing in the very, like many times this thing. So when we are in the prayer of somebody, okay, some devotee, then that is our only wealth. Okay, so Arjuna is saying, oh great one, greater than even Brahma, okay, who is you are the original creator. So Brahma, we know, is the creator, but he is the secondary creator. All the 8 elements, right? 7.4, whatever we had studied. Bhumi, Rapo, Nilvayu, Kamano, Buddhi, Evacha, Ahankara, basically 8 elements, five gross elements, and mind, intelligence, ego. Bhinna Prakriti, Ashtada. So all the 8 elements are first created by the Lord, and Brahma is giving them a different form. So Brahma is called the secondary creator. And then what happens is, first Chatur Kumar comes, Sanak Sanatan, right? And then Brahma asks them to help in the procreation, and then they sprinkle the water on themselves, and they curses themselves that let we remain only of 5 years always, because they wanted to do the bhakti of the Lord and not in the creation. So when Brahma gets angry, then from his forehead Rudras appear. Okay, so Shiva is one Rudra, right? So the point is, from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Brahma to Shiva, they all appear. So Krishna is the original creator, because from Krishna only, after a lot of other expenses in between, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu also comes into picture. So why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? We have heard in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, when Brahma realizes his mistake, right? There is a TV serial also, right? Series of Krishna. So there they show when Brahma realizes the mistake, all the Brahmas comes, and then our Brahma gets to know, oh, there are so many other Brahmas also. When those Brahmas are paying obeisances to the Lord, their helmets are touching to each other. Okay, means there are countless number of Brahmas. We are just one very small, very minute creation from our Brahma, but we feel ourselves greater than anybody. One of the name of the Lord is Asvar Mudva. Its meaning is there is nobody equal to or greater than the Lord. But our ego, look, we remember last week, who wants to tell? Bhakti Siddhant Maharaj. He tells, when in morning we wake up, we should beat ourselves, our mind with chapal, and in the evening with broomstick. That was Just Do It, right? Nike, if I remember correctly. So point is, like, this, our false ego is making us so much illusioned that we feel ourselves bigger than our creator and their creator and their creator. So very interestingly, in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th chapter, 17th shloka, that is the first entry point of Krishna. Okay, in entire Bhagavatam, Krishna's first entry is there in this shloka, 1.7.17. Easy to remember, right? 1717. So when Krishna enters, he enters in the role of chariot driver of Arjuna. If Krishna says that I feel bliss while serving my devotees, it is also a message there that we also have to, if Krishna is ready to serve his devotees, who are we? That's why Mahaprabhu says, right? Gopir Bardo Patakam Lyor Dasa Dasanu Dasa. So our identity is to follow the footsteps what Krishna did. Okay. O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe. So we all know the pastime of Vibhishana, right? That same Lanka which Ravana got after sacrificing his head 10 times in the fire. That same Lanka Vibhishana got just by surrendering to the Lord once. So he does not reject anybody. Okay. You are the invincible source, the cause of all the causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. This is, and the word Akshara means something which gets destroyed. Kshay, right? And Akshara means which cannot be destroyed. So we'll continue 38. Tvam Adi Deva Purusha Purana Tvam Asya Vishvasha Param Nidhanam Vetasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama Tavya Tatam Vishwam Anantarupa. Next one, Prabhuji. You are the
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, 1 minute. What's that word you said? Nobody is equal to Krishna. You said one word.
Asmar Mudva Mataji.
Aswa.
Yes.
Can you repeat, Prabhu, again?
Asmar Mudva. I think.
One minute, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Nobody is superior or equal. Yes. Is it okay, Mataji? I'll just type it also.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Yes. I just pasted on the chat also. Okay. So we are on 30th shloka. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge. Above the material modes, O limitless form, the whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. So, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Everything is resting on the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, He is the ultimate rest. Nidhana means that everything, even the Brahman effulgence, rests on the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the knower of everything that is happening in this world. And if knowledge has any end, He is end of all knowledge. Therefore, He is the known and the knowable. He is the object of knowledge because He is all pervading. Because He is the cause in the spiritual world, He is transcendental. He is also the chief personality of the transcendental world. So this is very much in line with the very famous shloka of Bhagavad Gita only, 15.15. Right? Do we know the shloka?
Sarvasya Chaham.
Sarvasya Chaham Nisannyavisto
Matasmiti Jnanam
Apohanam Cha Vedescha Sarve Vedyo Vedanta Kritveda Videva Cha. So he is the one who is the compiler and he is the object of the Vedas. So, and Nidhana means that everything, even the Brahman effulgence, rests on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So, the one who is knower of everything in the Srimad Bhagavatam, very first shloka, 1.1.1. Okay, Abhignaha Swarat. So we had discussed last week or maybe a week before that. So Krishna knows anything and everything whichever is happening in this world. So one may question that if there is a big company and there is a chief architect, so sure, he knows the whole plan. He knows what thing has to be made where. But ultimately, it is those laborers who are working in those areas. So labor will they will know more details about the places and the construction. So the next example of this that is given is, in our body, there are unlimited number of hairs, right? But if any hair is pulled, okay, though there are millions of hair, but when one small hair is pulled, we immediately know, right? So like that, he is the embodied, and whole material world, in fact, entire creation is his body. So Krishna knows immediately and every time whatever is happening in anywhere. Okay, and you are the supreme refuge above the material molds or limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. So in this regard, another very interesting thing which I heard yesterday only was regarding, there are 4 types of impersonalist. Okay, first one are the Brahmavadis. It is little technical but good to know. First are the Brahmavadis. They know, they accept the impersonal form of the Lord, but they are indifferent. They don't say anything bad or about the personal form. For them, impersonal form is everything, but they are indifferent to the personal form. They don't say anything. So they are not the offenders. This is the highest class of impersonalist. And then the second class says that the impersonal form of the Lord is main, and personal form of the Lord has come from impersonal. Okay, and the third class of the impersonalist, they say that again, impersonal form of the Lord is everything, but depending on the modes of the nature, if the matter is associating with the mode of goodness, it becomes Krishna. They are the offender, because they say mode of goodness can make anybody Krishna. If we are in mode of passion, we are like human beings. Otherwise, if we are in the mode of ignorance, we are matter. So they don't consider Krishna as Krishna. They just count him as like in mode of goodness. They accept Krishna is there, but in mode of goodness. And the fourth one and the lowest one is, they think everything is matter. Even Krishna is like, that is Buddhist. Everything is matter and it will Shunyavadi. It will finish. So why we are discussing is that our Lord is so, and who is giving these thoughts, this gyan to all these classes of people? It is Krishna, because Krishna does not want this material world is a place of enjoyment. It is a place of free will, right? We had a desire to enjoy here. That's why Krishna had to create this material world for us. So Krishna does not want to take away that small, minute independence that we have got. So whichever philosophy, whatever thing, if we want to serve Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, will give us so many reasons that whatever we are thinking is correct. It is a very subtle point. We have to understand this thing. That's why whenever we read any Shastras, we have to understand this in the right mood, in the very prayerful mood, and in the parampara. Okay, we are just reading and repeating Prabhupada's words. And with that prayerful mood only, that right knowledge. That's why we do the opening prayer, right? Om Ajnana Timirandasya. We are full of Andhakara. Okay, that torchlight of knowledge can help us open our eyes. Go to the next one. Vayur yamo agnir varunah shashankah prajapati tvam prapta mahascha namo namaste astu saharsa kritvaha punascha bhuyo api namo namaste. May I request Srimati Prabhuji Mataji to read?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
You are air and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times and again and yet again. May I read the purport?
Yes, please.
The Lord is addressed here as air because the air is the most important representation of all the demigods, being all pervasive. Arjuna also addresses Krishna as the great grandfather because he is the father of Brahma, the first living creature in the universe. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So there are three kinds of prayers. Okay, one is called Samprarthnatmika prayers. Second is Dhanya Bodhika prayer, and the third one is Lalasamai. Okay, so in the first one we glorify the Lord. Okay, we say you are the best, and then the second one is Dhanya Bodhika. We feel we are very insignificant. Okay, and after this we put our desire to basically request the Lord for the services. So this is called Lalasamai. So easy way to remember that is you are the best. Okay, I am waste. Okay, and please give me the taste. So here Arjuna is glorifying the Lord. This is the first category, Samprarthnatmika prayer. So he's saying you are the air because air is the most important element, most important representation of all the demigods, being all the pervasive. Arjuna also addressed Krishna as the great grandfather. Why? Because Brahma is the father of everybody and Krishna is the father of father. That's why actually Krishna is the father of everybody because Brahma's father is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and this comes from Shankarasana and then Narayana, and then there are many, right? Chain. So Krishna is the greatest grandfather. Next one. Namah Purustad Atha Prasthe Namo Astu Te Sarvata Eva Sarva Ananta Viryamita Vikramastvam Sarvam Samapnosi Tato Asi Sarvaha. Yes.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Obsessions to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading and thus you are everything. But out of loving ecstasy for Krishna, his friend, Arjuna is suffering his respects from all sides. He is accepting that he is a master of all potencies and all prowess and far superior to all the great warriors assembled on the battlefield. It is said in the Vishnu Purana 1.969, Yo yam tava gato deva samipam devata ganaha satumeva jagatashashta yataha sarva gato bhavan. Whoever comes before you, be he be a demigod, he is created by you, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So when we suddenly realize the importance, then how we feel, that is what depicted by Arjuna here. So after seeing the Virat Rupa, when he's fully convinced, right? So he's paying him obeisances again and again, right? So because oh unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. So see, the reason why it is very important to recite the same prayers which our ancestors have presented is because these are the transcendental words, and they said this thing because their heart was already in full with the bhakti and with full of the prema. Though how it is going to help us, because we are not at that level, right? How can we have our own prayer when we are not at that platform? So these prayers of our acharyas, like Arjuna is putting it here, they help us to develop that mood. Okay, and gradually with their prayers, with their blessings, we will also, okay, because we don't have to reinvent anything. Whatever had to be said in Bhagavad Gita, okay, whatever was required for us, it is said in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever was not required for us, it is not there in Bhagavad Gita. So everything is there, okay, whichever is important for us. So we have to just repeat the words and understand it with the mood, because we cannot understand the platform of Arjuna, how with what mood he was saying. But at least if we repeat Arjuna's words, we will at least theoretically know something is possible like this. And when we repeat it over a period of time, because why we are so much of materialistic today? Because we have just repeated the same materialistic thing again and again, life after life, again this life also, again, morning till evening. We don't get tired. We are just repeating the same thing. That's why we are fully convinced Maya is everything. And in between, when we get the glimpse, okay, through our shastras, then at least there is small hope. Once a disciple of Srila Prabhupada tells, okay, Prabhupada was telling that we get this bhakti after a lot of sukriti. Okay, then when asked Prabhupada, we have not done any good karmas in our life. Okay, how come we are able to get this bhakti? So Prabhupada said that I have created this bhakti for you. This sukriti, I have given it to you. So you have to just do some justice to the great opportunity that is given to us. Next, in the last two shlokas of today. Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam he Krishna he Yadav he Sakheti ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya prayadat pranayena vapi yachavaha sartha masakrato asi vihara sayasana bhojaneshu eko athavapi achyuta tat sampaksam tatta tatakshayamaye vaham ham pramayem. Sorry, not good in reciting. So may I request somebody to please, if you want to recite the shloka, please.
Can I, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Prabhuji, please.
Shall I recite the shloka or only?
Yeah, Prabhuji, shloka, please.
Shall I recite shloka also, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, please. Yes.
Nice. Sakheti matva prasabham yad uktam he Krishna he Yadav he Sakheti ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya pramadat pranayena vapi.
Nice, Prabhu.
यच्चावहार्थम् असत्कृतोऽसि विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु एकोऽथवापि अच्युत तत्समाक्षम् तत्क्षमाये त्वम् अहम् अप्रमेयम्. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Please continue, Prabhu.
Translation.
Yes.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on same bed, or sat and ate together, sometimes alone or sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form. Although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend, Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, "Oh my friend, oh Krishna, oh Yadava," etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is a transcendental loving reciprocation between a devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the loving entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten. As we can see from the behavior of Arjuna, although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very beautifully you recited. You read the purport and the translation also. So, a very important shloka, very practical for our.
जी आपका आवाज सुनाई नहीं दे रही.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Is it? Am I audible to others?
Yes, Prabhu, you are audible.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are audible.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Maybe something issue, Prabhu, from your side. I don't know. Am I audible, Prabhu, now? Subaro, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
There's some problem in my phone. Thank you.
Okay, Prabhu. So this is a very, very important shloka for our daily life. Okay. So especially when we chant, then once I will tell a story. Once a person has to visit. I mean, he knows that he has to go to meet a person who is very famous, very great in a different country. And then through airplane, when he goes, he gets a seat next to a different person. And then whole way that other person is trying to speak to him, but he's in a different mood that I'm going to meet another great person of that country. Let my flight reach there. And then I will do this thing, that thing. I will spend a lot of time. Okay, very memorable time I will do. And he's planning all the times and he's not talking to the other guy. When he reaches finally to his home in that country, he is welcomed very nicely. And finally he finds the very same person who was sitting next to him. It is the same person whom he wanted to meet. So how we will feel at that time? Something similar Arjuna is feeling, because, oh Krishna, I have been there with you. I have dishonored you. Okay, many times. Okay, jesting as we relaxed. So he's keeping his leg on him. I mean, because not to insult him, but Just they were friends. He did not know the position of Krishna. And then how he is feeling for Krishna, as if he has done lot of mistakes, and then asking for forgiveness, and then feeling himself mad. And so the point is, when we do the chanting, why we discuss this example and this thing is because when we do chanting is not a medium which can take us to Krishna. Chanting is Krishna. So let us again meditate on this thing. Very important topic of the day. Okay. When we chant, we are with Krishna. Our same Krishna who is there in Goloka Vrindavana. Leaving everything, he is there with us now when we are chanting. Now, what great thing we want to achieve in this world, which can be more beneficial for us than Krishna? Why, at least at the mental platform? I'm not saying to keep the body and soul together we have to work. That is the hard truth. Okay, at the sadhaka level we have to accept. But why? Who is stopping us? Prabhupada often says the word, what is the difficulty? Who is stopping us to at least remain connected with Krishna all the times? So how will we know this thing? When we know the greatness of the Lord, okay, he is so great, and then he has descended here out of his causeless mercy. Why causeless? Because he is Swarata, Abhigna Swarata, right? Janmadiyasya yatho anvayat itaratas charthesu abhigna Swarata. The very first line of very first sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. Abhigna means who knows everything. Swarata means who is fully independent. He does not have to answer anybody. Why did he do so? And still he has appeared in the form of his holy name. Oh, our mind, what else do you need in this life? When Krishna, we don't have to go to Krishna. Krishna has, because of his holy name. Holy name is a living being. He is Krishna, who is breathing, who is seeing, who is feeling. Okay, who has a heart, who can notice us. Then why do we? Krishna, his reality, when Arjuna knew, he created a lot of respect, lot of love, right? Lot of sense of forgiveness. When Jagai and Madai, who were very, very sinful, when they get to know their relationship with the Lord, they did not do any mistake after that. Our mind is making us even lower than Jagai and Madai, because we know who is Krishna. We know he is there in the holy name. When we chant, okay, are we not doing these things? I have dishonored you many, many times. Being inattentive in the chanting, right? 10th offense means we are dishonoring. Okay, jesting as we relaxed. So there is a lot of takeaway from here. So when we chant, we have to chant not as if. As if means we have to imagine something. Again, no as if. Krishna is there, and he is waiting for our attention. And if we are not giving any attention, we are insulting. But they are not giving up the hope. Right? There is a very qualities of the devotees, right? Pure devotees. One of the qualities is hope against hope. How much ever bad situation we are into, we should not give up the hope. So I don't know about others, okay, but I know definitely Hari Nam, right? The Maha Mantra is so merciful. Okay, we are not the pure devotee. We lose our hope, but Hari Nam Prabhu means Maha Mantra, Krishna. He is always having hope against hope for us, that at least one day this soul will surrender into me. And if we do not have that sense of surrenderness also, then what is the solution? The solution is just keep on chanting. Why? Because Scrooge right, Cheto Darpanmarjanam, that only can clean the heart. We often get surprised in this world. Why that person did that thing to me? Why did that person say this thing to me? Our eyes, this is one small personal realization, like our eyes are always wide open in this world because of the surprises that we get every day. How come that person did that thing? How did that country do that thing? Only these names are changing. Our eyes remains always wide open. Why? How this can happen? But we don't look towards Krishna. How my Lord can be so much merciful on me? The moment we develop the sense of gratefulness, He is very sweet, very, very merciful. The very same place, right? It does not matter. Why do we have to go to Goloka Vrindavana when we have the association of the devotees here? Because our spiritual success depends on how much serious devotees we are surrounded by. Okay, if we have the hankering that when we go to Goloka Vrindavana, we will be able to serve the Lord more, we will be able to get the association of the devotees more, then that is still justified. Okay, and otherwise very same place. Okay, if we are surrounded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada, they often says, if we are chanting, if we are surrounded by the devotees, that place is equal to Vaikuntha. There is no difference. So let us have more and more firm faith. I need your prayers and blessings also, so that whatever I'm saying, I can follow that also. So there is no difference. Let us do this practice, okay? From tomorrow onwards, or whenever we do our remaining rounds of the day. If it is not done, let us say this thing every time before we start chanting. There is no difference between the Lord and His holy name. We know this. We forget to tell this thing to ourselves. We forget to remind ourselves. Okay? You and I, we both will practice from today. So thank you so much for your time. So the session is over. If you have any comments or questions, suggestions, please feel free, and then we can discuss. Otherwise, we are done for the day.
Excellent session,
Thank you for the
Prabhuji.
last
Very well
statement.
explained, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. So many takeaway points today.
Yeah, very nice session,
Thank you
Prabhuji.
so much, Prabhuji. We are blessed.
Although
Hare
Srila
Yes,
Prabhupada
yes.
and
Hare
wonderful
Krishna.
devotees. Because
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Have a
thank you
great
so
day.
much.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Prabhu, for
so
the
much,
wonderful
Prabhuji.
class. Dandavad
Thank you.
pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Panchakalpataruvascha kripa sindhuvaya cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandat
Krishna,
pranam.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, with all your permission, I'm just ending the session. Thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Dandat pranam to all.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad pranam.